Hello, welcome to Astro Podcasts. This is Jody Shirabi coming to you on Wednesday, December 11th. I recording this early. I hope everyone's doing well. I know last week was definitely a little bit chaotic, a little bit nutty. I've definitely been feeling nutty and tired. You could say it's the moon, the sun, whatever it is. It's definitely occurring up in the universe, and it is affecting all of us. And today we had a little bit of a storm. There is a cold front in now, and we are here at this moment in time that is historic that we've been speaking about for the past 2 or 3 years since I started this podcast. And this is the reason why I started this podcast, so I could be here at this moment in time and speak to you about what's going on in the universe. So this is for the week of December 13th through December 20th of 2024. We are in the middle of December right now, and it is very close to the end, isn't it? So the big news of this week is that on Sunday, the 15th, there will be a Gemini Full Moon and Mercury stations direct in Sagittarius on the same day. And Gemini is ruled by Mercury, and Mercury stationing direct in the sign of Sagittarius, where the sun is a big access of knowledge occurring here. So, as we've spoken of before, Gemini rules the everyday, mundane thoughts, communication with others, the way we gather information is Gemini. The way we process information is Gemini on a daily basis. And it also rules the third house, which is the house of community and friendships. So that's Gemini's power. And it's ruled by Mercury. It is a mutable sign. And Sagittarius, its opposite sign, is also mutable and is a sun-fire mutable sign. And Jupiter rules over Sagittarius, where it is right now in Gemini, and Mercury's in Sagittarius. Again, we've spoken about this mutual receptivity that they have. And Sagittarius, again, rules over knowledge, that is wisdom, more so. After processing all this knowledge, we have a wisdom, something that age brings in Sagittarius is the 10th house, and it is the very last sign of the fire sign. So it is full of knowledge that is usually optimistic type of knowledge that makes us feel really good about ourselves. But right now it's really still kind of napping Jupiter. So Jupiter's kind of weak right now. And so therefore, with the moon being in Gemini, Mercury is ruling this full moon in Gemini. So we're going to have a lot of mental activity and conversations and meetings and all kinds of stuff happening to where, like my hair, we can make our mind just be like, too much information. And it's going to be windy because Gemini is an air sign, and the wind has picked up tremendously today as the wind from the north is coming down and bringing a lot of cold, cooler air. We've had some cold front come through, but no freeze, and right now we're in the middle of like a little thunderstorm just passed by, but the air is cool and it is not humid. So there's not much water right now in the atmosphere. But up north there's a lot of snow, and then northeast is the snow, bunch of snow. Where I used to live in Plattsburgh, New York, that is where there's a lot of snow coming from the Great Lakes. And then over in California, the fire is burning from the Santa Ana winds off the west coast there, coming in and pushing through. And now Malibu's on fire. The winds were like 80 miles per hour, and the spark just took off like that. So here we are dealing with wind and fire, which is exactly what's in this full moon. Gemini air, Sagittarius fire. And they're feeding each other. And Pluto's here now, and also an air sign. And Pluto is about endings, destructions. So you can see a lot of stuff's happening here with the fires burning homes in many, many places. There's also fires for happening in the Northeast. So there's just a bunch of air and fire energy right now. And it's going to continue on for a little bit longer as Gemini season. A Sagittarius season doesn't end until December 21st. And we'll talk about that next week when I come back on the 20th. The Gemini full moon is occurring at around 24 degrees of Gemini, 23 degrees and 52 seconds to be exact. So this full Gemini full moon is about busyness, about many, many things coming in and grabbing our attention and wanting to have conversations with us and wanting to pick our brains and see what's going on. And that is due to the curiosity of Gemini. Really going to help this Gemini full moon is that Mercury, the ruler of Gemini, is stationed direct at 6 degrees and 25 minutes of Sagittarius. So this is a good thing. This will help bring in some clarity where we haven't been able to really have much clarity because Mercury's been asleep and then Mars went retrograde. So a lot of stuff's been going on and confusing us. Although Jupiter is retrograde, Jupiter will also be adding to this expanded energy of the full moon. Because again, Jupiter does rule over Sagittarius sun. So it's going to be really expanding our consciousness. Again, that's where the busyness comes in, and a lot of people talking, a lot of information, especially out here in the ether, is going to be occurring over this big Sunday full moon. And it's the last full moon of the year. With the last full moon of the year, we have this chance right now to fulfill some of our thoughts and plans that we've been making. So we can start thinking about things that we might want to do that we can't do yet because Mars is still retrograde. So clarity should kind of arrive next week. Slowly, maybe not instantly, quickly, but it will happen slowly. And I know being slow is difficult for Geminis. So that's why this whole section of it is really driving people bonkers. As you can see in the world, a lot of things are happening quickly, spontaneously. By the time you wake up sometimes in the morning, a government could have overthrown and someone else taken over. And that is, again, the Aquarius energy with Pluto there of revolution, evolution, and for the people. So a lot of tyranny is going to be overthrown in the coming years. But first, the powers that be have to grasp for their last straw. They have to go for it right now because they're going to be phased out in about 20 years as people step up and want to really take care of their own personal things without government telling them what to do, without Big Brother telling them what to do, without all the need for all these things that's happening that we don't really want anymore. And then on the 20th, when I'm back, is a big, big move that day when the moon squares Neptune and then the sun also squares Neptune. So on the 20th, it is the day before the sun shifts into Capricorn. So at the very last degrees of Sagittarius, the sun's going to square Neptune. And the moon will be squaring Neptune on the same day on the 20th. And that is also going to help with this clarity with Mercury now awake, because the moon squaring Neptune is going to give us a little bit of confusion about our dreams, about facades that we might be still holding on to that aren't true. We might still think that certain things are happening when they're not. But then the sun squares Neptune, and that's when we really get the chance to see that our dreams are manageable, because the square just gives energy that's collected into the square, and that energy wants to go out. So we'll want to go search for things and do more things with that happening. And it's Neptune meeting up with these two, the moon and the sun, squaring them is going to, what Pam Gregory says, it's going to diffuse diffuse the stuff that's been giving us problems with clarity. It's going to diffuse. It's going to help us to focus more on what it is that we truly want through clarity of mind, which is what we all kind of need with now Mercury going direct. We need that clarity of mind to just maybe be able to sit in silence and try to see the next step, see what's happening, and feel what we're feeling, and acknowledge ourselves and our thoughts and what our heart is saying, not our mind so much, because again, with this Gemini full moon, um, we're getting all that information. So now we need to sit back and think about it. And so by the 20th, we're going to be given a chance to actually bring it all kind of together until next year, going into the new year, at least have a little bit of a game plan going on. So we don't totally go in there and say, what are we going to do? What? And a lot of us, I think, are already in the holiday mode. I know I am. I'm staying basically off of social media for now because, I got enough things to think about. And I think that a lot of us have slowly started to manifest things that we want. And always at this time, be honest with yourself. Don't pretend and let it build up, because it's not a good idea. Because next year, if you're still holding on to certain things, it's really going to bite you. Because this is the time to meditate and release and get yourself more confident, more in your sovereignty. Knocked around by all these things right now. Woo! There it is. You see how high it's going up. But I really like recording outside my studio Cloud 9 with all my white curtains here. I feel like I'm on Cloud 9 and it's beautiful. So I hope you guys don't mind all this wind going on. You can still hear me, I hope. So let's talk a little bit more about this sun conjuncting the galactic center on the 20th. Because when the sun is in the 27 degrees, I've spoken about this before, is the galactic center, it's in Sagittarius. So now that the sun is at the 27th degree of this galactic center and it's meeting up having a square with the moon and Neptune at the same time, we are be giving visionary ability. Galactic center is where everything, all the energy of the universe is combined. So this is a very powerful meeting on the 20th. So really use this Gemini full moon on Friday, on Sunday the 15th, to focus on your dreams, your intentions, how you see yourself in the future. Because at this point in time, the way things are going, we have the ability to jump into our new being that we perceive ourselves to have, that we wish we were, what do we want to be, the spiritual being we want to be in 2026. We have that chance, according to Pam Gregory, to jump that into from this body and change our bodies into a lighter being. And that's going to be your opportunity on the 20th as we prepare to enter into a new year that is going to be completely unrecognizable for any of us, because we have never been at these points before cosmically. And that's why we're all here. We all somehow promised ourselves we'd be here to witness what's happening. And I hope to be here 100 years from now to witness this again. See what happens the next time. All these things happen every 100-year cycles or whatever. I know a lot of people, especially a lot of Buddhists, want samsara, which is the ability to get rid of our karma, living a good life so that we don't have to become reborn anymore and go through the sufferings of a mundane life on earth. I understand that feeling, but I feel like life is a gift, and every day that we're alive is a gift, and that the sun is life-giving and it's shining brightly in my face now. It's hard for me to see. But I know without the sun, we do not exist. Nobody, nothing exists without the sun. If it was just the moon, it would be cold and dark. If it's just the sun, it would be too bright and burning. But we need both. We need night in order to rest. We need night in order to dream. Because more things occur and get manifested in your dream life than in your real life. A lot of people have invented things from dreams. I write a lot of my poetry and my stuff that I write is from dreams that I have. As a Neptune moon, I have a huge connection to my dream world that sometimes I wonder if I'm awake or asleep. Yesterday morning I woke up and it was about 6:30. Everyone was still asleep. And I could have sworn it was Sunday morning. So I went and looked up the shows I watch on Sunday to see if they've been released. And one of my shows in HBO's the camera got knocked down again, so I think this might be a better angle. So really what I'm trying to say about this happening on the 20th is that we're going to be given a chance towards unconditional love, and that's what the Neptune thing is about, unconditional love. So unconditional love is a big deal because Neptune, again, is going to be the North Node axis with Virgo coming up in January. And Neptune being basically at 27 degrees as it was stationed direct there, and now it's awake, but it hasn't moved much. At 27 degrees, it means Neptune has been in contact with the galactic center and has been uploading kindness, unconditional love, dreams, quantum leaping, because again, Neptune is that outer planet that is so far out that it deals with things that are unseen. So with Neptune at the galactic center, where things are happening but we can't see it, Neptune is going to help us to start to believe in our dreams, have confidence in our dreams, have confidence in ourselves. But most importantly, as Pam Gregory said, have confidence in the unseen, what you can't see. Like love, again, I'll talk about this, which I've done before. You can't see love. You can feel it. You can't touch it. How do you know it exists? It just exists. It just exists, and that's how we're going to roll with that. So thank you for being here this week. I'm going to cut this off. Thank you. I appreciate you. And I will be back on the 20th. After I return from my trip, I will send out another podcast. Thank you. Appreciate you. Bye.